Welcome, guys. Crypto Fud. Happy Tuesday night, Tuesday evening. If you're living in eastern side of America, if not, happy afternoon or good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Let's jump right into it. So today we got to say happy birthday to Bitcoin. On this day, Bitcoin was released. I believe the first transaction was made on Bitcoin 14 years ago. And I heard or saw some statistic where it's up from that one transaction like over 1,000,000%, like something crazy. So, happy birthday to Bitcoin. Thank you so much, Bitcoin, for paving the way for all of us and all the crypto projects, and just excited to see what the next 14 years brings, not only for Bitcoin, but to the cryptocurrency in the crypto world. So, on today, Bitcoin's birthday, where are we sitting at? Where we've been sitting at for the last like few months, give or take, but we're at around 16,655 currently at this split second. We've been sitting in this channel that I have locked in here at around 16,300 to about 16,800. We've kind of tested it a couple times as support, and it's also become resistance. Like I said before, right now we'll take it, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to jump right in. Today, the DXY had its biggest gain in probably 6 months, a 1 day gain. It was about 1%, a little over 1%, but you're talking the dollar that's worth or that has trillions of dollars in circulation went up 1.37% just today. So that right there, just the fact that Bitcoin didn't see a massive drop off was a big thing. Now, as far as the dollar, looks like it's trying to keep its way up. Like I said, I will be happy if we can get down sub $100 for the DXY. It just doesn't look like it's going to budge right now. It's definitely trying to hold strong in between like $1.03 to $1.04. So one thing is when the dollar is going up, usually the markets are going to do the opposite and go down. And when the dollar is going down, the markets are going to be reverse, and they're going to obviously be going up as the dollar is dropping. It's just how it works. People will invest into the dollar when they're very wary of the markets, and vice versa. So that just tells you right now, like I've been stating in other videos, the amount of FUD right now that is circulating on the main news. You have all these guys, even from the Big Short, the guy that called, a lot of the crashes, has come out and he's stating that 2023 is going to be a shit show that is going to melt faces in the way that we don't want to see faces melted, and that there's a recession looming, and we have another 50% crash ahead of us. And he was stating that basically the feds are going to pivot, and they're actually going to start releasing stimulus checks again, like mid 2023, and that's going to cause the downfall in regards to basically inflation just skyrocketing back up, and basically us repeating what we saw in 2022, but far worse, throwing in a massive recession far worse than what we saw in 2022. This is what he's claiming. I'm not spreading any FUD. I'm here to kind of put that fire out. This guy obviously knows more than what I know, but I just, as far as what you see in history, as you usually see, the markets usually do what it's been doing as far as that downward bear market for anywhere from about a year to 2 years. Roughly, it's like an average of about 14, 15 months. So that's what I'm basing a lot of my analogy on. Obviously, you can call and you can do whatever you want. You can, like I said yesterday, you can draw fib lines and you can do all this, but we really don't know, and everything is thrown out the window as of right now with these markets that we're in right now, because basically anything can happen. You can have a black swan event, or you can just have like, as far as the feds, if they want to, screw the market over, if they want to keep in increasing the interest rates, stuff like that, where the market right now is pricing in that where inflation is starting to trickle down. It's not just falling down, but it's just trickling down. And they're basically, the market's pricing in that inflation is going to start, going down, and the interest rates are going to be going down with it. And the feds are probably going to most likely at least freeze what they're doing as far as increasing the interest rates as of right now, and possibly doing a pivot sometime mid or towards the end of 2023. So anything that goes against that is going to cause some kind of a downward, more of a downward momentum from where we've been out. If you notice, we've been real stagnant the last like month or two, and that's because basically a lot of people, is the end of the year, one, but two, right now they're just waiting to see what's going on with this market, what's going on with this Fed. We have a Fed meeting on the 12th. I believe they're going to be letting out the CPI reports, and then from there on, they're going to be another meeting in regards to what they're going to be doing as far as interest rates. So we have all that coming up in about a week. So I think we're going to see some volatility coming up, approaching. What's the word on the street? I think we're gonna, as far as right now, I have no idea what's gonna happen in this next week or two. But it really, what I'm getting to is, it does not matter. It does not matter, because what I see in the long run, well, technically short run, for this year, is that we're gonna get past all this. We're not gonna skyrocket up, but like I've said this, I've called this a few videos before, like probably about a week or two ago, that I think we're gonna see mid 20,000s, or possibly hitting $30,000 sometime this year for Bitcoin. And if that's the case, then a lot of these other coins that we're all invested in are going to be doing the same thing. Not 30,000, but they're going to be going up as well. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just giving you guys the info as far as what I think this next week, 2 weeks, and what this year is going to bring to us. So again, Bitcoin being somewhere around mid 16,000s right now is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Obviously, we want to see it pump up. This pump right here was from the last Fed meeting, and it was a nice pump up, but at the same time, they had to make sure that we went down. And I say them, as the Feds, they put out the wordage that, yeah, that they're we're might basically be doing a 25 basis points next round, but we're gonna stay real hawkish, and if we need to, we'll jump it up. And that's basically where it was like, people were like, "That's all right, we're good to go." And then you saw, after the wordage and everything was released, it went back down, because people were like, "Hold on, we're not out of this. We're basically exactly where we're at with the uncertainty." And the one thing with markets is, if the worst thing is uncertainty, that is the worst for the markets. ICP today fell out of my beautiful channel that it's been just on this upwards channel. Fell out this time, but it went right back in, right? Well, today it decided to go down. It went down like 7%. And actually, I'm not even mad about it. I was pretty happy, because I was able to add on and add to the bag. So, nothing crazy, dollar cost averaging in, but that's why I draw these channels, because if it does drop to certain spots, especially out of this upward momentum, I wait and I kind of see where I'm going to be buying in. And I told you guys it was somewhere around $3.85. It didn't necessarily hit that, or I wasn't able to catch that, but I bought in at like $3.86. So I'm not upset about that. I'm actually happy. If I can, right now I'm trying to just get as much, ready, prepared for whenever we are, going to see the bull run jump back in. I want to make sure that, I'm prepared and basically have what I want. Because I remember the last time I was fairly new, and there was a crazy, crazy dip we went through, it wasn't this long, but it was like, I believe it was in 2021. It was basically like the middle of the year. Bitcoin was at like 40,000 and it dropped down to 21,000, right? And it was about a 3-4 month period. And I was fairly new in the crypto, and this is like one of my first times that we saw like a real big dip. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my portfolio was like down, like I mean down, down. I was in Ethereum I think at the time, like heavy, and it went from like $4,000 down to like, I want to say down to like 1,800. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I was like, like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm not going to put anything else in. I'm just going to let it be. The smart thing was that I didn't sell for a loss, but the dumb thing is that I didn't accumulate when we were down. And whenever we went right back up, see, that was short lived. It was about a 4 or 5 month period. Don't quote me on the times. You guys can look back at the time chart. This was in 2021. But when we went back up and we ended up, that was when we started running up our leg up to the next all-time high. I was so pissed that I didn't sit there and just, throw everything that I had in it, right? But not even that, but at least just accumulate more of my positions while it was down. So this time around, it's fairly different. It is. I'm not going to be going crazy and throwing in my mortgage or, everything else, but I am gonna be smart about this one, and I'm gonna basically get positions that I never was in, and I want to get good in these positions, so whenever we are running in this bull market, even if it is next year or whenever the case may be, I'm gonna look back and just be like, I'm glad that when everybody was terrified, I wasn't. And I kept dollar cost averaging in, just dollar cost averaging in on projects that I always wanted or projects that I already held and I wanted to get more. This is our opportunity to do it. I'm going to leave it. Again, guys, don't forget we have the Fed meetings coming up here in about a week. I believe on the 12th is when it starts, January the 12th. And from there on, we're going to have some meetings for a few days after that in regards to numbers being released and what the Feds are going to be doing with those numbers. So that's going to be our next catalyst where we're going to see some definite volatility, maybe up, maybe down. For right now, if nothing else changes, I think we're going to see a very boring Bitcoin, which isn't bad. We'll take it. We'll take it for right now. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful day.